Hey everyone, Amanda Anderson here, Director of Marketing at Pira Consulting and co-host of the Hire Fire podcast. Today we're going to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is creating an empowered team and what that should look like. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, welcome back. For those of you who do listen to my videos or the podcast that we do at the Hire Fire show, you'll know that I used to manage a team of like 22 to 24, sometimes 25 people, varying ages and I mean younger, but still in their varying ages, backgrounds, things like that. And one of the things that has always been very important to me is managing, not micromanaging, and creating an empowered team. So when you're looking at that and wondering, do I have an empowered team? There's a few things you can kind of ask yourself. How much of my team's day to day requires pre-approval or approval before they do anything? What percentage of their work? How much reporting do I require of them? And how extensive, how time consuming, and really how much of it do I use? And how much are you being bombarded by your team with questions? Again, that pre-approval kind of process. If you feel, or if your team feels that it's those things are pretty prevalent in your managerial style, I have news for you. You are a micromanager. I know it hurts to hear that, and you might be saying, no, I'm not. But I've never met a micromanager that knows they are one. So you really have to have some self-awareness and take stock in what you're requiring and of your staff and what you're doing with them. Because the whole point is to hire people who you trust, who are capable, and who can do their job. Because you, as whether a director, a VP, a supervisor, whatever it is, you should not be in their hair. At best, you should support them as they need support, but you need to hire people who can do their job and you can trust. That is the sign of a good manager. Now, what does that look like? So, for when your staff comes to you, and they still should be able to, right? They still should come to you for certain things. It really should be for major fires only, things that are above their pay grade that they're not allowed, or that shouldn't really be allowed to handle. Maybe it's cancellations, special funding that maybe is needed, things that are way out of the norm. I do think you should empower the team to make some of those decisions for themselves if it's within maybe a certain parameter of, hey, if your client wants to change the agreement by 5 to 7%, you're allowed to do those negotiations. Anything above that, though, you can kind of say needs to go through management. That would be an example of empowering them while still, not giving them keys to the kingdom, so to speak. The other sign of an empowered team is you are going to have natural leaders kind of rise up on their own. And you should want that. You should allow that. You should foster that. That is also a good sign of a manager, is when you have those leaders kind of take hold and be the middle ground between you and the team. It also will help you in your promoting activities of the team will already trust some of the people on their team that are natural leaders. So when you do need to promote, or maybe you need a lead on the team or an assistant manager or whatever it is, they should be pretty prevalent, have a prevalent uh, existence or on the team, that it should be a no-brainer is essentially what I'm saying. The other sign that I think is that the team supports each other. If you have an empowered team, they know the answers, they know what's allowed, And they're going to look to the person who is next to them more so than always coming to you as a manager. The reason I say all of this stuff is that as a manager, you shouldn't necessarily be handling the day-to-day stuff of your team and their job. They should handle that. You, as the supervisor, manager, director, whatever your title, your level is, you should focus more on steering the ship more than controlling the rowers. Okay, they should know what direction they're going and to be able to do their job to help the team get there. So take stock, take a look at your team. What percentage, how much of are you overlooking their shoulder without maybe even knowing it? And I don't care if you're doing it in a nice way. Micromanagement is the fastest way to kill a culture and alienate your team members. So please trust in them, or look to yourself again and see, who are you hiring? Find the people you can trust who are good at their job, and then just let them do it. If you don't agree, I would love to hear in the comments and have a discussion. So please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for listening, and until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Hire Fire podcast, brought to you by Pira Consulting. Check us out on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or online at piraconsulting.com. That's PIRA consulting.com.